Hello, my name is Aisha. Do you occasionally think of loved ones that have died and thought about if there are ways that you could have prevented their deaths from occurring? Many people in the U.S. suffer from certain diseases. According to the CDC in 2016, the leading causes of death in the U.S. were heart disease, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, and unintentional injuries. The CDC further mentions that the death rate in the U.S. was 823.7 deaths per 100,000 population. With that much death in the U.S., people are searching for ways to live longer. One such method involves cryonics, which preserves human bodies for the future. I have done research on cryonics to see what the hype is all about it and to see if it's a successful alternative to immortality. The use of cryonics is not beneficial to preserve human life because cells still might decay after application, and it's not easy to use cryonics on the whole body. There is no way to restore life to a cryopreserved individual, and there are ethical considerations to be noted, like interrupting the natural process of life, which is death, and changing the human ethics. First off, I will explain what cryonics is and mention key corporations that do cryonics and their methods. Secondly, I will list the justifications given by certain companies for cryonics. Then I will explain the issues that come with using cryonics to increase your life expectancy, such as it not being fully perfected, and it raises ethical issues. To get started, let's talk about what cryonics are and about the companies that do it. Cryonics is a science that utilizes the concept of thermodynamics to freeze humans, and it has the benefit of supposedly giving a second chance at life. According to ALCOR, Life Extension Foundation, cryonics uses extremely cold temperatures to conserve an individual for years until the future implements a medical technology to make them healthy. ALCOR cryopreserves the brain as soon as cardiac arrest occurs. Artificial respiration is used in blood circulation and respiration while the patient is on multiple drugs to prevent brain death. Afterwards, the brain itself is rapidly cooled through their vitrification process to further keep it alive. This allows whole brain cells to be visible and leaves membranes intact and well-defined. ALCOR insists that neuropreservation halts physical decaying on the whole body by isolating the brain, and that future doctors are able to attach the brain to a new body. Besides ALCOR, Cryonics Institute is another key leader in the field of cryonics. They use liquid nitrogen to freeze the human body. By using liquid nitrogen, the body stops physically decaying and preserves tissues, organs, and the brain for the future. Companies that offer cryonics make implicit justifications for it. The LCOR Foundation gives 3 reasons as to why cryonics is the best option to live longer. Firstly, they state that life can be halted and resumed if the biological structure is preserved. Secondly, they said in order to preserve that biological structure, their discovery of vitrification, which is freezing without forming ice, allows for that to be possible. Thirdly, they implied that the development of nanotechnology leads to detailed tissue repair and regeneration, complementing cryonics and eliminating problems that arise from it. Cryonics Institute, on the other hand, claims that cryonics is feasible because of what Dr. Ralph Merkel quotes in his essay, The Molecular Repair of the Brain. Merkel insists that there are no published technical articles on cryonics that claim it won't work. Instead, there are many articles and papers that say cryonics can eventually succeed. So Merkel concludes that it's not accurate to claim cryonics will not work, based on the availability of published material on the subject. Now, I will discuss the downsides to using cryonics to extend life. Cryonics is still a brand new and emerging science, just like nanotechnology, and is not fully perfected. According to APECSCC.org in 2014, we cannot be fully sure that preserved cells do not decay after cryonics is conducted. It's possible that cells can age during the process, causing aging and atrophy where there's a gradual wasting away of tissues and organs. Also, BBC's Rose Eveleth in 2014 mentioned that scientists have found how to preserve cells and tissues at a micro level, but applying this to a whole human body would be difficult. Another issue, according to Eveleth, is whether people who have undergone cryonics can come back to life in the future. There is no guarantee that revival is possible, as scientists have not done any research on whole human revival. However, corporations that do cryonics insinuate that it's possible to do so. Cryonics Institute have said that biological specimens such as insects and some human tissue that have been cryopreserved were then later revived. So they are implying that the revival of the whole human body is possible. But it's not. The practice of cryonics raises ethical issues to the field of medicine. By using cryonics, the process of death is halted. Crystal Lombardo, which launched in 2015, says that the death is a central part of life and is the primary fear of people because there is not much information on dying. She also said that cryonics provide an escape route to death and decreases people's fears, but it raises false expectations of immortality. Since according to Eveleth, there is no scientific surety that cryopreserved humans can come back to life. Furthermore, cryonics makes changes to ethics of humanity. APEC.SEC.org in 2014 indicated that the way people would behave towards each other would change. If people were given the option to cheat death, then their future choices and actions may be influenced by that. It could be that those choices and actions will be more negative than more positive. To wrap it all up, let's review what I have told you about cryonics. Cryonics is a method used to achieve immortality through the physical preservation of humans. Today, there are many companies such as ALCOR and Cryonics Institute that offer cryonics, and they have different procedures for it, like using liquid nitrogen. Although cryonics seems to be advantageous, it is not. There is no evidence to say that cells won't age and deteriorate after, and the question of applying to the whole human body is of a concern. Also, scientists are not sure that revival is possible after undergoing full-body cryonics, since all revival studies have been on small specimens. Lastly, cryonics raises ethical considerations, like is it natural to cheat death, and whether human ethics may be altered for worse if people were cryopreserved. So, I hope from this speech you have gained a new perspective on cryonics and its effects on life and ethics. Thank you for listening.